Hi, it's Katrina! From arachnids that carry the weight of the world on their shoulders to mothers that engage in light cannibalism, here are 9 creepy animals that make great parents. Number 9. Wolf spiders. Wolf spiders are solitary creatures that roam around at night looking for prey. They are big and hairy and will stalk their victims, overpowering them with their strong bodies. There are hundreds of species of wolf spider that live all over the world. While they may have many interesting characteristics, scientists are mostly fascinated by their unique parenting habits. After mating, the female wolf spider will carry her eggs with her wherever she goes in an egg sac. The egg sac is a round globe attached to the spinnerets at the end of the abdomen, so mama spider can still hunt with no problem. They are extremely aggressive during this time, and if something happens to it, she will look for it like crazy. Once the eggs hatch, the spiderlings all climb on mom's back where she carries them around. Self-confessed bug nerd Lisa Van Kula Donovan shared a video of what she calls her lucky day when she picked up a wolf spider with hundreds of babies on her back. The babies all crowded around, and then once she placed her hand near the ground, the whole crew scurried away. What do you think of this doting practice? Creepy or cute? Let me know in the comments below. Number 8. Sea lice. The sea louse is not a particularly well-liked creature. Sea lice are little crustacean parasites which peruse through the ocean waters looking to suck the life out of fish. They tend to eat mucus, epidermal tissue, and blood of host marine fish, and are a complete nuisance with no real purpose. Perhaps the most well-known species of sea lice, the Lepiopitheria salmonis, will latch onto farmed salmon and suck their blood. They are a huge problem in the industry, even though I can't pronounce their name, and farmers are very concerned. These sea lice do not live a very attractive life, I would say. Because of their parasitic effect on salmon, salmon farms are trying to understand them better to stop the negative effects they have on their populations, so we know a lot more about them than we otherwise would. In the case of the female sea louse, it's gotta be especially hard. Their male counterparts are incredibly promiscuous, often mating with around 25 female sea lice at once. But then things turn into a horror movie. Not sure what nature was thinking, but in order to give birth to the hundreds of lice babies inside of her, she has to let them literally eat through her skin in order to escape into the water. Even scarier, she's alive throughout this entire process as her children eat through her to enter the world. I don't know about you, but this might be the most dedicated mother in the ocean. Who would be willing to have their children chew their way out in order to survive and ensure the survival of the species? Why must the mother meet such a violent end? Well, she's not the only one. I'm going to be telling you about some other creatures that are equally disturbing. It's hard to say whether or not the mother louse could live through this, but apparently sometimes they do. However, they must be pretty scarred after the process and probably don't want to do it again. Number 7. Vultures. No one really wants to see a vulture on the road. These animals are known for their haunting appearance and, shall we say, less than appetizing diet, which consists of decaying animal flesh. The most populous vultures in the world are black and turkey vultures, which tend to hang out with one another. Black vultures can't smell that well, so they'll often go alone with turkey vultures who are better at finding animal carcasses. But despite all of their creepiness, vultures are actually tightly knit in terms of for one thing, vultures usually form monogamous relationships which last throughout the years. The strong bond that forms between a male and female vulture also enables them to make excellent parenting choices. One parent will remain with the young most of the time, so they are rarely alone. Some vultures have been observed feeding their tiny children for up to the first 8 months of their lives. The community doesn't end there either. Vultures stay close to their families for years and possibly for their entire lives. Some of them even stay in touch with their parents for as long as they live. Black vultures are also known for keeping other vultures outside of their family circle away by pecking at them. The food is for the family and not anyone else. Number 6. Blood-sucking ants. If you hear the name blood-sucking ant, then you know it's probably not a friendly creature. Technically, they're known as a detomyrmant, and they're pretty rare. They're an endangered species of ant that hails only from Madagascar. They are also well known for their gigantic stingers. Relative to the size of their bodies, this is the biggest stinger of any ant on the planet. However, that isn't what gave them their name. That comes from a more extreme parenting process. These little ants sure do love their children, and they make sure that they know it. When a queen ant from this species gives birth to her children, she and those worker ants she commands bite little holes into their bodies and dig in. eating the liquid that moves throughout the larvae's circulatory system. Scientists don't really know why blood-sucking ants do this, but it's definitely one of the strangest parenting practices within the animal kingdom. One running theory would have it that it's a way of practicing a common ant behavior, swapping fluids back and forth. But why with the children? No one knows. However, the baby ants make it through this vampiric ritual just fine, so live and let live, right? Number 5. Caecilians. Although Caecilians look like big worms, they're actually amphibians more closely related to frogs. You can find these strange critters inside of the world's rainforests, even though they tend to hang out below the dirt. However, their similarity to worms is not this amphibian's only strange feature. Caecilian mothers are known for their extreme child-rearing practices. They allow their children to eat a little bit of them. That's right, Caecilians let their children engage in a little bit of light cannibalism. When her children are first born, she feeds them by getting them to eat from a hole on her body called a cloaca, which secretes a nutritious fluid. But she also lets them go a little bit further than that. Her children have sharp fangs, and when they ingest this secretion, they also bite off her skin, which contains a lot of helpful nutrients. Thankfully, she regrows this patch of skin about every 3 days, after which she repeats this cycle. Now that's dedication. Scientists discovered this by noting that Caecilian mothers tend to be a lighter shade than other females within the species. Some other Caecilians also have children which develop teeth in utero, and these ones eat the interiors of their mother's oviduct before entering the world proper. It's safe to say that Caecilian mothers really go the extra mile for their children. Number 4. Stegodyphus lineatus. The Stegodyphus is a kind of spider, and while their bodies evoke creepy images of skulls and trigger arachnophobia, they are actually excellent with their children. Almost too much. These spiders were first discovered in 1873 and can be found in semi-arid regions of Israel, other parts of the Mediterranean, and certain parts of Asia and Africa. This species is known for ballooning, which is the process whereby the spider releases some of its silk in order to fly through the air on a gust of wind. However, they are also known for letting their children engage in the practice of Matriphagy, which is when a mother sacrifices her life to feed her children. It is not a common practice, but these mother-eating spiders attack and eat their mother for survival. Most spiders lay their eggs and leave. The female spider will only have one clutch of eggs her entire lifetime, for obvious reasons. At first, the moms keep their children's cocoons latched onto their webs. They need their mother's help to exit the silk egg sac and are completely helpless. Once they've hatched, she stops eating and repairing her web, and instead, her body begins to disintegrate slowly as she regurgitates her food for her young to eat in liquid form. When the spiderlings are about a week to a month old, the process of matrophagy really begins. The mother spider gets weaker and weaker until her spiderlings all crawl onto her and begin to eat her. Other females that have not laid eggs will also begin to liquefy and help feed the young until they too are eaten alive. This cooperative breeding is extremely rare in spiders, but this species lives together for life. Number 3. Giant Pacific octopus. Giant Pacific octopuses are both bigger and older than every other species of octopus on the planet, and that's saying a lot, given how large octopuses can get. On average, these beasts max out at 16 feet long and weigh 110 pounds, but the biggest one that scientists have ever caught was 30 feet long and weighed over 600 pounds. And like other octopuses, they're smart as heck and employ ingenious camouflage tactics to blend in with their environment. They also sacrifice everything for their young until the very end. When a female giant Pacific octopus lays her eggs, she will only do so once in her lifetime, so they prize the single brood above all else, even their own health and safety. They don't eat or take care of themselves at all while they're looking after their eggs, constantly watching over them and filtering the water around them so they are oxygenated. In April 2007, Bruce Robeson and his team sent a submersible into California's Monterey Bay. They were amazed to find a female octopus guarding 160 eggs. Biologists continued to watch her gently filter water over her eggs and protect them from predators as she slowly began dying from starvation. The last time the team saw her was September 2011. In October, she was gone. Her eggs had hatched, leaving tattered capsules attached to the rock. For 53 months, marine biologists documented the mother octopus. This brooding period is the longest known for any animal. As the years went by, the mother octopus refused to eat anything and began turning into a ghost of her former self. Scientists can only speculate that the mothers make the ultimate sacrifice based on a hormone that is released in the mother's body. But this story of maternal care is just one of the things that are so fascinating about octopuses. Once the eggs hatch, the tiny baby octopuses swim off to fend for themselves. Number 2. Poison dart frog. Although they might look cute and tiny at first glance, poison dart frogs are actually dangerous. Their bright, colorful exterior bodies hint at what they carry on top of it: super deadly poison. Thankfully, most predators in the environments where they live have taken note of this fact and tempered their expectations of a tasty snack accordingly. They know that they won't be in for a good time if they decide to try their luck. Some species of dart frog display unusual parenting habits, including carrying eggs and tadpoles on their backs. The strawberry poison dart frog is aptly named for looking like a strawberry, but the reason they earn a spot on this list is for their excellent parenting tactics. Once the female strawberry dart frog lays her eggs on the forest floor, Dad comes in to keep a close watch on the eggs, which are a prime target for predators. They also pee on them to keep them hydrated. In other species, Dad is the exclusive caregiver and carries the eggs around like a backpack. Once the eggs have hatched into tadpoles, however, the mothers really start to shine. Tadpoles will eat one another if left to their own devices, so the mom individually takes each one of them to a separate source of water up in the trees to make sure that they all survive. They can travel extremely long distances. Also, she checks on them daily for 50 days or so, feeding them one of her unfertilized eggs to keep them alive. All the while, the dad is on watch to make sure no one finds the babies. What a model power couple! Number 1. Scorpions. When you think of creepy crawlers, scorpions are probably among the first creatures to come to mind. But did you know that they're some of the most devoted parents in the animal kingdom? For one thing, a mother scorpion has a thankless job, transporting up to 100 baby scorpions at a time on her back. Even though most arachnids like spiders lay eggs, scorpions actually give birth to live young. When scorpions give birth, they tend to deliver around 20 to 30 babies, but they've been known to deliver up to 100. These baby scorpions, which are lovingly called scorplings by scientists, then crawl onto their mother's back for protection. Scorplings are very susceptible to predators during their first couple of weeks of life because their exoskeletons are so fragile. Luckily, they have their mothers to take care of them. However, this can also spell danger for the mother scorpion and her children. Walking around with a bunch of scorplings on her back, she opens herself up to the possibility of attack. Her scorplings are easy prey, and when they've all congregated together on top of her, her presence is magnified among the local predators. Thankfully, she's pretty skillful at evading them. Thanks, Scorpion Mom! Who do you think is the best parent? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated on the latest videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye!